rank and rent website for. Now, there's only two ingredients that make up the perfect golden niche, and they are these. Number one, it must be profitable. There's no point in building a website if there's no chance that it's going to make you any profit. And number two, it must be easy to rank in Google. Now, we don't want you going out there picking niches that are too hard to rank in Google that'll never get you anywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a software that my partner Todd and I developed called Keyword Supremacy that's going to help us measure those two ingredients and find the perfect, profitable, easy to rank for golden niche. Now, if you stay till the end of this video, we're actually also going to give you a free trial of this software so that you can start playing around and seeing if you can find your own perfect golden niche. So let's head over to my computer. We're going to show you how to use Keyword Supremacy, and we're going to find multiple golden niches using this software. Alright, so here we are inside of Keyword Supremacy software, which is the tool we built that is going to help us find our golden niche keywords. But before we start using the software, there's a couple other documents that I built just to help us reference the two things that are important to finding a golden niche, which are we have to, number one, make sure that it's going to be profitable, and then number two, we have to make sure it's going to be easy to rank for. So to measure profitability, I put together this spreadsheet, which is basically a calculator, and it's based on certain elements, but the core of it is the keyword search volume. So Keyword Supremacy will tell us what the search volume of the keyword is, but then from there we have to kind of add in a couple of different metrics. So you'll see numbers in orange, and these are what we're going to input to give us an estimated rental value of our site. Now, we can look at just a single keyword, but that's typically not what we're going to be targeting when we build our sites. We're actually going to rank for multiple keywords. So I've included keyword 1, the search volume of that, keyword search volume 2, and keyword search volume 3. And then I've included us ranking at either number 1 in Google, number 2 in Google, or number 3 in Google, and the average CTR at each of those positions. And the CTR just means if you're ranking number 1 in Google, typically how many people will actually click on a listing at either number 1, number 2, or number 3. And those numbers are actually around 32% for number 1, 25% for number 2, and 18% for number 3. So for instance, if we find a keyword that gets searched on average 200 times a month, that means the traffic that we could probably get to our website while ranking number 1 is about 64. If we're at number 2, we'll get about 50 of those 200 visits. And if we're at number 3, we'll get about 36 of those 200 visits. So we want to be realistic, okay? And that's why I built these in here. The next orange number that we have to affect is our traffic to call conversion. So meaning, if we do rank our keyword that gets 200 searches a month, okay, number 1 in Google, that's going to get us about 65 visitors to our website, but not all of them are going to call the number on our website. So we have to account for that, and we call it a call conversion. Now, a steady call conversion that we should be able to achieve is about 20%, or 1 in every 5 visitors to our website can pick up the phone. And when we do the calculations on that, if we're able to get 64 visitors from 200 hits, that means we can make the phone ring about 13 times. Now, once again, there's another conversion we have to look at, and that's how many of those phone calls can we turn into paying jobs. And that's not really our job. Our job is to make the business phone number, to make the business's phone ring, but it's their job to sell the people that are calling them. So, but we're going to try and get a valuation of our site based on them closing about 20% of the people that call them. And then we also have to understand a little bit about how much would the job cost. So for instance, if we were doing something like tree service, you know, obviously there's a wide range of costs there involved based on the number of trees that they have to cut or prune or whatever the service is, maybe chop them down, the size of the tree, the complexity of the project. If it's a dentist, you know, it could be a range, but we're looking for a basic number, okay, the average profit per job, because if we're going to get about 3 drops from 13 calls from 64 visits from 200 sites, and each job average is going to cost about $1,000. In this scenario, what it means is that we can bring that client around $2,500 a month in new business. And then the last number is if we can bring them $2,500 in new business, how much should we charge them to do it? Because they have margins as well. And I put that at a very, very conservative 5%, meaning if we can bring them $2,500 in new business, we should be able to say, listen, I want $128. So now we're going to go for a little bit better of a value than that. And you'll see how this calculator plays out once we go through and start looking at keywords. The next one that we're going to look at is it easy to rank? Okay, and for this, I prepared a niche selection checklist that really just makes sure that while you're looking at the keywords, the things that we need to be in place are in place for us to know that this will be an easy keyword to rank for. So one of the things, for instance, is we have to make sure that it's profitable. This calculator is in the checklist. We have to make sure that the city or the population is small enough that there's not many businesses in the area that have a website that we have to compete against. We have to make sure that people are actually searching for the keyword, but not too many people, because there exists a correlation between search volume and competition in Google. So keywords that get like 20,000 searches a month are typically pretty competitive, but in the local space and in small cities where we're only about 100 to 500, the competition goes down. And then we have a bunch of metrics. Okay, now I'm not going to go over these in detail with you. I will provide you with this sheet, which will explain each of these steps on its own, but we keep these in mind and we use this checklist. I print it off, and as I'm going through, I'm making sure, yes, we have a good niche value per sale. Yes, we have a small city. Yes, we have search volume, and so on and so forth. So let's just go ahead and go over to the tool. Okay. And we're going to start hunting. Now, what this is, the feature of the tool that we're going to use is called the search database. This is a global database of results from all users who are searching for keywords inside of Keyword Supremacy. Every time a new keyword is found, it is added to the global database. And currently we are sitting on over 500 million keywords, which is pretty amazing. But we don't want to look at 500 million keywords. We want to set filters down to the scenario for rank and rent properties. So we're going to lower the search volume down to 999. Cost per click is a measure of how much money is a business willing to pay to advertise a keyword in Google and have it clicked on. So I'm going to raise this up to $10. That's going to get rid of a lot of these CPCs with zero and these random keywords, and you're going to start seeing a lot of local type keywords start popping up, like in a specific city with a specific niche. And then the competition filter is how many people are bidding on that keyword, right? So the more people that are bidding on that keyword means there's more businesses that are interested in getting traffic from that keyword. So that's a metric that helps us understand there's people out there spending money on Google, which if they replace their budget with Google with maybe us, we can save them money and we can make ourselves some money. So once we have those set, we just press go, and you can see it's analyzing through 500 million keywords, and now we're down to about 2.2 million keywords. Okay, and now we have to do a search. We're going to actually search by keywords, and there's two ways we can do this. We can search for specific niches. So one of the ideas that I like to get across my mind is obviously we want something that has a high NVPS, so something like, you know, maybe someone that does siding or roofing versus someone who does cutting grass. People who cut your grass don't charge you that much, but people who build a roof for you are going to charge you more, meaning if we build a website and send leads to a roofer, we can probably make a lot more money because they're going to make a lot more money versus if we build a website about cutting grass, you know, that's not going to be very profitable. So home services, you know, things like bathrooms, basements, kitchens, decks, fences, garages, all these big things that people do to maintain their home are great services. There's also like people-related services, so things that people do that are typically expensive. Things like weddings, there's all kinds of crazy stuff like wedding bands, wedding venues, wedding receptions, all kinds of stuff, wedding catering. In people services, there's things like child care, elderly care, equipment rental. So there's all kinds of niches that we could go after, okay? And we can search by those niches, or we can search by the city, and I'm going to actually do both. So one thing I like to do is I like to just load up a map of the United States, and then I just like to zoom in on places. Now, I don't want to go after too big of a city like Oklahoma City
right? I'm looking for like a little bit smaller of a city, so something like Longview or Shreveport. So we can start there. So I'm just going to go to the search and I'm going to type in Shreveport, right? And then what I'm saying is, out of all these 2 million keywords, only show me keywords that have Shreveport in them. So I'll just click enter, and now it is looking for all the keywords with Shreveport. And I'm going to sort my results. You can see we're down to only 63 results, which is great. And we went from 500 million to 63, which is great. And I'm going to sort them by search volume. That's what volume is. This is us getting information on Shreveport plumber, for instance, is a keyword that is searched for 480 times in Google. Businesses are willing to pay $17 per click for their ad to show up when someone searches for this keyword. And the competition is medium, meaning that there's multiple people who are willing to pay that. So next, we have to kind of start looking at the keywords and thinking, what business could I possibly build? So something like Shreveport Moving Company. Now, 260 searches a month, $13 CPC. Okay, so right away we're thinking, okay, is there money in moving? Yeah, they are. Moving is expensive. So what we do is open up our calculator. And remember, we had 260 searches per month, and the minimum moving job, depending on things, is definitely 1,000. But the average for moving is probably a little more. It's probably like $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000. So we'll put in $3,000. So there we go. With that keyword, just by ranking a single keyword #1 on Google, we could bring a business around $10,000 per month in new revenue, and we could probably charge them around $500 a month to do it. So that keyword is definitely profitable. Now, the next step is it easy to rank for? So what we're going to do there is we're going to look at this keyword in Google, and we're going to check a couple of results. So the first thing that we're going to look at is, this is called a broad match search in Google. It's just the way most people use Google. They put a keyword in and they search, but this is the number that we're going to look at, okay? And in the broad match, really, it doesn't matter what the number says. If it's less than 1 million, that's an awesome bonus, but it doesn't really matter. It gets a little bit more specific, and this number starts meaning more as we get more specific. So the next window, you can see we still have that keyword phrase, but this time we've wrapped it in quotes, and the number has dropped significantly because now we're asking Google for something much more specific. We're saying the word or the phrase Shreveport Moving Company must exist in the result that they're showing you, right, in that order. Those 3 keywords in that order must exist somewhere on the website. Whereas in the broad search, they're just looking for any keyword Shreveport Moving or Company to exist anywhere. So that's why you get more results. The next thing that we're going to look at, okay, is called an in-title search, where we're taking that keyword phrase wrapped in quotes and we're saying how many people have this exact phrase in the title of their results. So you can see Shreveport Moving Company. Here we have Shreveport Moving, and then it's deprecated, but it's there. And you can see it again here, Shreveport Moving Company. Only 3 people actually are targeting that keyword in their title, and that's great. We're looking to see something less than about 65 results here for it to signify that is a very easy, or likely a very easy keyword to rank for. And the last one we're going to look at is the same thing, but instead of looking for this keyword phrase in the title, we're actually looking for it in the URL. So Shreveport Moving Company. You can see here in the URL, Shreveport Moving Company, Shreveport Moving Company, and there's only 4 here again. And once again, we're looking for less than about 65 to signify that it's likely an easy site to rank for. I forgot to mention, in the phrase match, we're actually looking for it to be less than 20,000, and you can see we only have 256 results here. So Shreveport Moving Company actually looks like a really great keyword that definitely has profit in it, because if just one keyword ranks, we could possibly make $500 a month based on the phone calls and the sales, and then it looks like it's fairly easy to rank for based on these basic checks. Now, I'm going to get a little bit more advanced with you here, and what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the real first page, because people don't search like this in Google unless they really know what they're doing. The typical person who's looking for a moving company in Shreveport is just going to type in Shreveport moving company and then just start going through the results. Now, our objective is to get ranked number one, but in order to